Welcome to Tell the Truth Show. This is the show where the guest must tell the truth and nothing but the truth. We are presently in the office of the Vice Principal of Sojourner Truth Middle School, Mr. Kafele, where he must tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Kafele, do you promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Kafele, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
When Mr. Kafele came to Sojourner Truth School, a lot of changes came along with him. Battle of the home bases, positive posters throughout the school, Saturday and Central Detention, Student of the Month awards, homework awards, and rules and regulations in the cafeteria.
Welcome to the Assistant Principal's office.
Welcome, Ms. Kafele, to Tell the Truth and Nothing But the Truth news show. First of all, your full name is Baruti Kafele, is that correct?
My name is Baruti Kafele, but that's not my full name. My full name is Baruti Kwame Kafele. My name, Baruti Kwame Kafele, has a meaning to it. Baruti means teacher. It comes from the country of Botswana, which is in southern Africa, and the language is Tswana. Kwame means born on Saturday. That name comes from Ghana, and the language is Akan, Ghana in West Africa. And my last name, Kafele, means worth dying for. That comes from Malawi, and the language is pronounced Ngoni. This is a name that many people in East Orange know that I was not born with. I was born with another name, but as I got older and started to study African history and African American history, it became difficult for me to accept the name that I had because it had no real connection or relationship with our history, with our ancestry. So in the African tradition, it's a custom to name your child with a name that has meaning, something that would represent what he or she may become later. So I decided that teacher is what I am. I'm an educator. And I felt the most appropriate name would be something that would associate me or identify me with education. So therefore I chose Baruti. So when I hear people call me by my first name, Baruti, they're saying to me teacher. And it serves as a reminder that not only am I a teacher in the classroom, I'm not any longer, but I'm still a teacher during all my waking hours, just in terms of interacting with various different people, always thinking about how I can educate and enlighten people. And on the other hand, a student, always one seeking knowledge, wanting to learn more than what I knew the day prior. Next, I gave you the languages. Again, Baruti is Tswana, Kwame is Akan, and Kafele is Ngoni. Those are the languages. Africa is a continent that has over 2,000 different languages and dialects. It's a vast continent, over 53 countries. So there are many different languages, but these are the three languages that my name comes from.
Mr. Kafele, when and why did you become a teacher?
I became a teacher in the formal sense back in 1989. I wanted to teach. I was working in corporate America but did not have certification to become a classroom teacher. But I had heard that New York City was hiring teachers, anybody with a bachelor's degree, and you could learn how to become a teacher on the job, so to speak. You go to classes and you work closely with a mentor. So I did that in New York City during the 1989-90 school year. Taught 5th grade in Brooklyn, New York, the Crown Heights section. After that year, I decided that education was going to be my career. So I made a career change. Came to New Jersey. I was living here, but came here to work. But in the interim, before I became a teacher in New Jersey, I had the audacity to write a book about how to become a better parent from an educational perspective for your child. So I wrote and published my first book entitled A Black Parent's Handbook to Educating Your Children Outside of the Classroom, which was largely based on my positive experiences as a college student. So took how I became a successful college student, straight A student, and applied that to parents relative to working with their children. The book became an overnight success. It was a bestseller in the black books market nationally and internationally. Then I went on and published a book entitled A Black Student's Guide to Goal Setting, which dealt with motivation, organizing oneself, and just overall how to become a successful student. Once I finished the overall marketing of those books, then I came to the classroom here in East Orange during the 1992 and 93 school year as a 6th grade teacher, with the almost immediate goal that I would be a Teacher of the Year here in the district. And after my 4th year, I was chosen as the East Orange School District Teacher of the Year, the Ashland Elementary School Teacher of the Year, and the Essex County, New Jersey Teacher of the Year. So I worked really hard at my craft of becoming a teacher and being a good teacher. And during that time, decided I wanted to become an administrator. So went on to school and got my master's degree in administration, and found myself here in this position as assistant principal here at Sojourner Truth Middle.
What sports are you involved in?
Presently, I'm not engaged in any sports per se. I used to play high school basketball. I was a long jumper on the track team as well, a good one at that, one of the best in New Jersey. But currently, I watch sports. I do stay fit. I lift weights and keep myself fit. And I think that in a position like this, where you're more or less moving around the school throughout the day, you need to be in good shape. So lifting weights basically 5 to 6 days a week keeps me in shape, and I try to do a little running when I can.
Did you choose to come to Truth as our assistant principal, or was it the powers that be who forced or sent you to Truth?
In terms of my being here at Sojourner Truth Middle School, I hadn't chosen to come here. I was more or less, this is where I was assigned to, but I'm pleased with the assignment. I enjoy very much working here at Sojourner Truth Middle School. It was very advantageous for me because many of the students that go here I taught over the years over at Ashland, which became Howard Elementary School. So it was a good transition. I got to work with students that I had known over the years, and I'm getting to see them grow, have that opportunity. Even the cameraman here I taught for 2 years as a 4th and 5th grader, and now he's in 7th grade. So this is excellent, and I enjoy being here at Sojourner Truth Middle.
Why do we have to come to a Saturday detention?
We have this Saturday morning detention program because when I got here, Principal Mr. Banks told me that discipline would basically be a large part of my responsibilities. And I've known Saturday morning detentions to work, but I had an ulterior motive with that program, because even though I'm not in the classroom teaching anymore, I still want to have the opportunity to teach. So the way I structured and formatted the Saturday morning detention program was by using it as a classroom, teaching what I love to teach, which is Black history, African American history, if you will. So during that time, the students who are here, they're not sitting here doing nothing, but they're learning for 2 hours. I've always been of the strong belief that when students know who they are, historically speaking, they move away from a lot of the negative behavior that they may exhibit and move into much more positive behavior, because now they have a better understanding of who they are and what their responsibility and obligation is to their people. When you look at people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, and others, these are people who were rooted in their history. They had a firm understanding of who they were, and therefore understood what their obligation was in terms of moving forward.
Why do we have the changes in the cafeteria with rules and seating arrangements?
The cafeteria is a funny part of my day. It's an interesting part of my day. I feel that it certainly should be an outlet for students to have an opportunity to talk and sort of release a lot of the daily pressures that they have as students. But there also needs to be structure, because if you don't have the structure in the cafeteria, then you open yourself up for chaos in the afternoon. So what I've done in my cafeteria, that's the A cafeteria, is implemented that structure. I did that last year as well, where we assign tables to students. I take attendance periodically. Students do have to raise their hand in order to move about the cafeteria. Some may argue that that's a bit rough or stringent, but I feel that it keeps the student focused on the fact that we are still in school, even though we're on our lunch break. And it just lends itself to a much more organized cafeteria, and therefore a much more organized school day as well. Some of the students have a problem with it, but others like it. It really depends on who you are in terms of how you feel about it. But in comparison, when we had students sort of roaming or sitting where they wanted to sit, you had a very chaotic situation. You could run into fighting, conflict, and so forth. But this way, we don't really have those kinds of problems in our cafeteria because of the structure that we have implemented there.
Do you feel that you're making a positive impact on the students here at Sojourner Truth School, and why?
Am I making a positive impact? I asked myself that question a lot, particularly last year when I first got here. And I still do. Being an assistant principal, as I stated earlier, a lot of your responsibilities are dealing with discipline. It's not all of what you do, but it's a lot of what you do. And therefore, it sort of makes me feel almost like the school bully, because I'm assigning students to detention, whether it be at lunchtime, after school, on Saturday morning, and ultimately suspensions at times. But what has made it rewarding is I've received letters from students commending me on different things that I've done here in the school. I received letters from parents. Parents have taken the time to write me, and just to let me know that they appreciate my efforts. And that tells me that I must be making a positive impact on the students. If a student would take the time out of their schedule, whether it be during the school day or at home, wherever they're writing, to let me know that they appreciate what I'm doing. And then I've even had students to verbally just tell me that they like what they see. They like the changes that I've implemented. They appreciate my efforts and my vision, for that matter. In fact, I have over here one of the students just last week stopped me in the hallway during the time the students come into homeroom and gave me this token of gratitude. She told me she really appreciated what I had been doing. She thanked me as her vice principal, assistant principal, and gave me a letter as well. So I cherish something like that. I cherish those moments. It reinforces for me that I am making a positive impact on the students here at Sojourner Truth Middle. Other than that, again, I enjoy being here, and I thank you for the opportunity to give you this interview. Thank you.